We're looking today at the latest rendition of the Epson Print Layout software. This is version 1.3.5, and it's got some unique features. I think especially new photographers are going to find it very compelling. It allows you to save settings, so if you do common kind of setup, you can create your settings and save them here. But in this case, we're just going to take a simple photograph, and the beautiful part of this is I don't need to know what size the photograph is, or the image is, I should say, before I print it. I want to select my printer. I've got the P400 that I'm using right now, which I'm quite impressed with. So I want to check my media type, and in this case I'm going to be using their watercolor paper, which I've fallen in love with recently. And that is, let's see, right here, Exhibition Watercolor Textured. It's letter size. It's going to be fed through the rear feed on the printer, and setting it for fine quality, which is the only choice when you're using the exhibition type papers. So now, under my layout settings, I'm just going to first of all drag the image from an Explorer window into the software here. So get my Explorer window, drag my print, and copy it into the software. As you notice, it instantly rotated the paper because it realized it was a landscape style image, which I think is pretty nice. Normally under other kind of software I'd have to move that around, but it did it for me. Now you can have a standard layout. There's settings for panorama, gallery wrap, and templates, which we'll get back to those later, but there are so many choices here. This is really pretty an amazing setup. But we're going to stick with standard for this time being, and it is landscape, so that's the way we want it. If we wanted it to be borderless, so that we would print the image to the edge of the canvas, we could set that. And you could also set it to scale to fit. Now, what it's doing here is it's scaling to fit the smallest diameter, or smallest setting, so that it actually covers the entire sheet of the paper, which that's obviously not what we want in this case. So we're going to uncheck that. But we get to come down here, and we can have the image centered, no centering, vertical or horizontal. So I'm going to set it on none, which gives me some more capability now. I can set my top margin and left margin, right margin, I should say the bottom margin in that case, so we have it going to both sides, and the right margin. So if we set it to image size, now what we get is the width of the image we can change. In this case, change it there. We can move the setting over, we can center it up. Do a lot of different things with it. We can change the margin color. You can actually pick the color that you want to go around your image. Lock your image aspect ratio, which is always a good idea. And then you have settings here for your color settings. Print advantages, color, grayscale, or you can use specific ICC profiles. Mode, either auto select, sRGB, or Adobe RGB. We'll do it on auto select, and in this case I think I want to go back. I don't want to use up that much black ink for this paper because I'm going to end up trimming it and putting it in a frame. So, but I do want to move this up to the top. That's always the issue that I've had. So I want my top margin to be less, which gives me space at the bottom that I can then write my description or add a signature, what have you. In this case, again, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to match the top border with the side borders. So if my left and right borders are 0.33, I can just change this and type in 0.33. And that way I'll get an even border up here and down the side. So I think we're ready to print, and it's just a matter of hitting print. So again, I have no idea what the pixel dimensions are or the DPI settings on this photo, but it doesn't matter because the software here has allowed me to take that image and print it to my 8.5 by 11 paper. So before we send it off to the printer, as I mentioned, it will take whatever size picture I have here, but there is a warning. Resolution is low for the requested print size. In this case, it's only showing a resolution of 123 pixels per inch. But to be honest, I've seen some very nice pictures printed at that resolution, so we're going to give it a try. What you have here are to do, as we mentioned, there were standard, panorama, gallery wrap, and template. I want to show you the gallery wrap. This is kind of fun. If I take my gallery wrap image, and here I'm going to need a larger size paper, so we're going to go with a, let's call it a 10 by 10. And what you'll see happening here is it's actually got my fold lines here in very fine black line. So I've got them on all four sides. And what this is meant to do is to fold this area down, and what it's done is mirrored the image so that it wraps around the side of my picture. I can pick the depth of the wrap depending on the size of my canvas stretcher that I want to put it on, and even allow me to change the overlap slightly depending on, again, the particular material and size of the frame that I'm working with. Choices of the edges, I can do a mirror image. I can do a mirror image with soft focus. I can do just the entire wrap of the original picture, or wrap the original picture with soft focus. I can do a color border so that the wrap of the fabric is in color, and I can pick the color that I want. Or just leave it plain white.